With us this Sunday morning is Ambassador John Bolton. And what the heck is going on in the world? So many things. Ambassador, you've been traveling. You've had your eyes on things. Give us an update of what's going on.
Well, John, every time we talk, it seems the world gets a little bit more tumultuous, and that's really true today. We saw on Friday something almost unimaginable in the UN Security Council. The Biden administration had proposed a resolution really very detrimental to Israel and its efforts to defeat the Hamas terrorists. The resolution called for an immediate and sustained ceasefire. It's a change from the administration position. It was not linked to an agreement to exchange the hostages to give back the Israelis who were brutally kidnapped on October the 7th. It's what the Europeans wanted. It's what Hamas wanted. They just want a ceasefire to get some relief from Israel's attack on their underground tunnels. And so really reflecting what Chuck Schumer said just a few days before that, attacking Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, calling for new elections. But the U.S. proposed this, a real slap at Israel, and that resolution was vetoed by China and Russia, which is just a slap in the face of the Biden administration to treat it.
That is so strange. That is so strange. Yeah. Wow.
Look, it shows that Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, who I will guarantee you made the decision for their countries to cast those vetoes, they view Biden as weak and ineffective, and they're showing Biden can't get out of his own way. Now, Secretary of State Blinken was actually in Israel at the time of the vetoes. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in the conversations between him and Bibi Netanyahu after that veto. But, this is that episode in the Security Council shows how weak the U.S. is perceived to be around the world. And when we're perceived to be weak, whether it's in the Middle East, with respect to Ukraine, with respect to China, and the threats along its periphery, the country will suffer as a result of it.
Agreed. What else have you noticed? I mean, the Houthis look like they're in complete control of the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. I mean, what kind of stupidity is this?
No, and we have let this happen. Look, the Houthis wouldn't have two rocks to rub together if Iran was not providing missiles, drones, tracking assistance, intelligence. They've got ships, Iranian naval vessels in the Red Sea working with the Houthis. And, this is now 5 months or so that traffic in the Red Sea and through the Suez Canal has been effectively stopped. They let some ships through. They want to let ships from Russia and China through. That should tell the world something right there. But enormous amounts of international commerce, carrying oil, carrying all kinds of other products, have had to be diverted around Africa. That obviously dramatically raises costs. We haven't seen quite the effect on the economy that we might have expected, but I can tell you that in Europe, these increased shipping costs, delays in getting critical materials are now beginning to be felt, and I think we'll feel it in this country too. This is an artery, a sea lane, absolutely critical to commerce for every part of the globe. And this Yemeni tribe, because of Iran's assistance, has shut it off. And we have not been effective in turning it back on. That's another sign of weakness, ineffectiveness, lack of resolve, and willpower on the part of the Biden administration.
Understood. We talked about Israel and what's happening to the UN. We talked about the Houthis. Ukraine. I've had a lot of discussions, and even though we are pro-Ukraine and let's damage Russia, is the money that's being given to Ukraine? There's a lot of suspicious people around. Is the money really being used for the war?
Well, I think it's perfectly legitimate for people to worry about that issue. We're not giving this away completely without any strings attached. We want it to be used for the purposes it's being sent there for. I think those in Congress who say they want to have oversight over the expenditure of these tens of billions of dollars of aid in different forms we've sent are entitled to get it. I think the problem has been not diversion of the aid or corruption, although, as I say, it's certainly appropriate to make sure it doesn't happen. It's the lack of strategy from the Biden team and that's prevented Ukraine really from using the aid we give them effectively. If you undercut the utility of the aid, you're just going to have to spend more. And I think the Biden administration just has never had a coherent policy in Ukraine. They haven't been able to articulate it. The president has not spent really very much time at all explaining to the American people why this is in our self-interest to get involved there. And he's allowed it to get tangled up in the border issue, which I think is separate. So now we're not solving the border. We're not dealing with Ukraine. We're not providing aid to Taiwan and Israel. And that's not entirely Biden's fault, but his lack of leadership has certainly contributed a great deal to it. And the Congress is wrapping up the budget for this year a little bit late to finish your budget 6 months into it. But I'm hoping when they come back after the Easter recess in a couple of weeks that they will be able to get to this Ukraine aid question and have a debate on it and hopefully vote it through.
Well, thank you so much, Ambassador John Bolton. Is there anything else you want to get off your chest on a Sunday morning?
Well, I just say again to everybody who's listening, this is a presidential election year, have big House and Senate races up. If we can't get politicians to listen to us during an election, we're never going to. Really, everybody's got to pay attention. This is going to be a very important election in November, and I hope everybody just pays attention to the news, listens to your show, and puts these questions to their people who want to be their elected officials.
Thank you so much, and God bless you, and God bless America. We'll catch up again real soon, John.
Okay, John. Take care.